Well, it's a brand new year, and you know what that means? Another year for Halo to potentially redeem itself. So, something funny happened when I was streaming a much better game than Halo Infinite. One of my viewers made me aware of a leak regarding Halo MCC's Digsite team. If you've been following Halo for the past, like a decade, and you aren't actively licking 343's boots and coping about how Halo is still popular, then what you're about to hear, or I don't know, perhaps you have heard already, and you just want to listen to another person be upset about it, this really shouldn't surprise you. More bad Halo news. Oh my God! You're shocked. Admit it. You never expected that to happen, did you? Basically, from what we know, the MCC Digsite team, the people responsible for restoring the beloved cut Bungie content, they had all their unreleased content leaked. We're talking a whole 90 gigabytes worth of stuff, which is not a fun thing to have happen to you if you are working passionately on not just Halo, but just any project in general. However, there were some things that were said that were quite interesting, and that is what I want to share my thoughts on. So we are ignoring the actual leaked content because I personally don't care enough to go poking around in what could have been in Halo, at least at the moment. Plus, I heard you could potentially get copyright struck by Big Brother Microsoft himself.
I want him dead. I want his family dead.
Now, this mostly comes from Rebs Gaming, who has helped spread the word on comments, including tweets from some of the members themselves. Shout out to that man. To summarize this really quick, the Halo Digsite team, who had all its content leaked, as you know, they were getting unpaid, had some complications with the leadership of HS, which all led to some departures and the eventual collapse of Digsite. So, I guess to be a bit more specific, what is the problem here? Why should we be upset? The problem is that this should have been an easy win for Halo. 343 should have just hired the Digsite team. How in the world is it difficult for 343, who is supported by one of the largest tech companies in the world, to offer a job to a bunch of modders that 343 has actively been working with for years? Specifically, we're talking 2 or 3 years since the Digsite team was originally made in 2021. Did 343 suddenly become a small indie dev team that for whatever reason is trusted to work on a flagship title? Like, I don't believe it. Regardless, the work required from Digsite team, based off responses from some of the actual members, it was a time-sinking endeavor, like a full-time job. So we're talking like over 40 hours a week, and all this time they've been getting unpaid for their labor for the past 2 to 3 years, with 343 seemingly expecting that to continue. Pretty rude if you ask me, because from what I've read, while this Digsite team is a mostly community-made team full of modders, they have also been partnered with 343 Industries, or I guess we should stick to calling them Halo Studios now, as if that's supposed to mean something. As far as I'm concerned, it feels like the same shit to me. But when you're working this hard to pump out content that is seen as the best content to come out of Halo in the last decade, just judging by the reception, ironic that it is more of old Bungie's legacy content, you'd think Microsoft or 343 would actually give these poor souls a job. Actually, scratch that. Knowing these dipshits and their track record when it comes to respecting Bungie Halo content, not paying them, unfortunately, makes a lot of sense. The fact that they were not getting paid and expressed that to the leadership at 343 and were still denied.
Some of the Digsite team told Halo Studios leadership that they would not be able to stay on the team if they didn't receive payment, and apparently leadership was not willing to pay them.
The team responsible for restoring things like the Halo 2 E3 demo and Alpha Moon, and seemingly had a lot more things they could have worked on if the 90 gigabyte leak has anything to show for it. It's pathetic. They're the only people really doing anything meaningful for Halo MCC that was met with nothing but praise, while 343 and Microsoft sit on their asses, still stewing that they can't find a way to monetize Halo MCC. Now, there was one tweet from a former Digsite member that piqued my interest. As for the other reason, it was because I fundamentally do not agree with how HS views the community or how they manage it. The expectations of HS for Digsite, plus how they viewed our hour work after shipping Halo 2 E3 was the combo of me taking my leave. So I feel like I'm starting to understand why someone might have leaked all this information. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, of course, it's just that if there are others like them with the same contempt for 343 leadership, it felt like it was only natural someone would get pissed enough to leak this information as a middle finger to this whole situation. Imagine telling 343 leadership you can't afford food or rent while pulling full-time work hours for free and being told no, we refuse to pay you. And then this is on top of poor communication with 343 leadership.
One source says a lot of information would get passed down like it was a game of telephone, and this was caused by the different levels of access to content that each member had.
Granted, this is a lot of speculation and hearsay. I've heard people say a recent data breach at Microsoft could have been the cause as well. No one knows who leaked the information, so don't go around assuming anyone who spoke out about Digsite is the one who did it. That isn't what I was getting at, in case there was any confusion, by the way. The point is that this was a mess, and it seemed like Digsite would eventually collapse with or without the leak, and that is what should be the focus. Because, yes, if you really want to, for whatever reason, you can simply just be angry at the leaker themselves. You can have that take that the members of Digsite team knew it was volunteer work that they signed up for, I mean that is true, and disregard any of these comments from them because they made the choice to work for free. These are things you can say, and there is some truth to that, as the Joker himself would say.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
But man, to focus on that and try to spin this against Digsite in defense of 343/Halo Studios just seems a bit disingenuous, as if they don't have a right to complain when they absolutely do. Like, are you kidding me? Again, some of these members told 343 leadership they can't even buy food, and they were denied any form of payment even after the time of Halo 2 E3 demo release. How can anyone set aside that apparently 343 had the fucking nerve to ask for more from unpaid labor and not give them a paid job?
The Halo 2 demo received a ton of attention, and I'm told that Halo Studios leadership wanted the Digsite team to release cut content next year that would generate the same amount of attention.
It took them close to 3 years to pump that out on top of everything else. Are you for real telling me Halo Studios leadership wanted more and still refused to offer payment? Their instinct was to demand more and even have the audacity to set a time frame, and when the Digsite team said they needed bug fixes and more added features to Halo MCC, Halo Studios leadership refused to greenlight any of that and still set expectations for Digsite. Are they trying to hang them out to dry? This is insanity. What is wrong with these people? Honestly, it sounds like a miracle Digsite got anything done up until now. I don't know why anyone would want to work on Digsite anymore after this. And it makes me wonder if the Halo Infinite community members who make all those fun maps and modes that 343 puts into Halo Infinite, if those community members are experiencing not the same dilemma, but maybe something close, that being a lack of monetary compensation that they should be getting. But anyway, so me personally, while the leak is a shitty thing to have happened, which is a nail in the coffin for Digsite, I think more of the blame and criticism should be put on 343 and Microsoft. Can we stop beating around the bush here and trying to blame one of these bozos? I'd rather blame them both, since both their names get thrown around a lot. You can tell me that the inner workings between Microsoft and 343/Halo Studios is complex, sure, but considering that this has been going on for over a decade, I'm just bored of this excuse. It feels like Halo has been getting powerbombed by these two constantly for years. But anyway, the Digsite team, along with any new potential Halo MCC content, is dead because of this incompetence. Don't get your hopes up that any of that leaked content will get worked on and released in the future. If 343 can't even bring itself to fix bugs, stop the cheating issues, add more content to Halo MCC, can't even pay a mod team for it. I mean shit, these days can't even fully support Halo Infinite that much anymore. You know, that game that was supposed to last 10 years but cancelled seasonal content just within 2 years? Why would anyone think there is even a chance they'll change their mind and bring this leaked content to Halo MCC? 343 doesn't deserve the privilege to work on that content at this point anymore, as far as I'm concerned. So, in a way, I'm happy that this wooden plank was set ablaze, and hopefully the people who left Digsite can hopefully find an employer who will actually have the decency to pay them when they see them working over full-time hours. So, best of luck to you all. I seriously wish you the best. Happy New Year, by the way. I just thought we'd start off the new year with more Halo drama because, I mean, it's always fun to talk about. No, seriously, when you've seen Halo getting its face caved in for over a decade, this stuff is more or less funny to see. Unfortunately, I've been desensitized to it all, and I can't bring myself to really force myself to be positive about Halo these days just for the sake of being positive. I hear there's another funny thing that happened where a Master Chief and Doom crossover episode was pitched for secret levels, and Microsoft said no because that fun thing we all love, we don't do that here. Pretty hilarious considering Concord got its own episode ahead of its release. But something fun like seeing Master Chief and Doomslayer in the same room just can't happen. Don't worry boys, at least we had that fun crossover with Doomslayer and Animal Crossing to reminisce about. I don't know why anybody is so surprised about all this bad news. Did you forget you're in the timeline where post-Bungie Halo isn't allowed to win anymore? I just love that the Halo TV show gets approved for 2 seasons until it was justifiably cancelled, while a single episode of a Master Chief / Doomslayer crossover isn't given the time of day. Anyway, listen, they better make that next Halo game good, alright? I totally believe in them. Friendly reminder, now is the time, or rather it has always been the time, to play anything but Halo. It's the year 2025. For the love of Master Cheeks, treat yourself to a much better game. There's plenty of them out there these days. That's certainly what I've been doing for the holidays, if you get what I mean.